When I was 13 years old, I asked myself a question, mainly because there was nobody else to ask the question. I said, when am I going to feel grown up? Because I felt like a little kid. I felt insecure, I felt alone, I felt wounded, I felt abandoned, I felt all the little things that you do when you don't have a father and you don't have a parent structure and you don't have anybody in your life that understands you. You're wondering, when am I going to feel what I perceived was what adults would feel? Stability and maturity and emotional sanity. And as I got older, I found out that nobody ever does. That it's pretty rare that adults feel fully grown up, that they're still carrying that little boy and little girl with them. And one of the great facades that we have is we have a picture. You have an idea that there's a certain group of people that really are mature, that they're grown up. So we fake it because we figure we have to. And I can tell you, knowing the behind the scenes and the inner circles from some of the richest people on the planet, the guys who are running big corporations, the middle managers, upper managers, owners of companies, they're not grown up either. They're just got bigger toys. They're boys with big toys. Later would come out. When you get unlayered, it's a universal translator. So she would say something, and he's already heard it 5,000 different ways, so he can't hear anything but static. So she says something, and then says it to me, and I said, what she's trying to say is she loves you, she admires you, she wants you to be her husband. And she would just wish that you could and just tell that story. Just tell the story. He's like, is that what she's been saying? And we look over at her, is that what you've been saying? Yes, it is. He's like, oh, I could do that because we got rid of all the static. And then on his side, do the same thing. Say, what would you say? If you could say anything at all in the world, don't let her respond. If you could say anything at all in the world, what would you say? And he would say it. And you take all the words away, and you say what he's really trying to say is the reason that he married you is because of this. And he wants that back again. I said, isn't that what you just tried to say? He said, yes, it is. And she starts crying, and they're remarried. It's the easiest and fastest thing in the world to do, is to fix a marriage. The reason that it's the easiest and fastest thing to do is because both of them are still together. They're still internally, they're still telling that story, that they want that thing, or they would have left. There's still some hope that they want that thing. They just became that. All of their conversation became something other than the story that kept them together and got them together in the first place. But in almost every single case, they still want it. They're still willing to be that to the other person. It's just become static. I'm going to use family because everyone here has experienced this scenario. You or your kids are raising up in their years, and you're telling them something. You're trying to get to them. You're concerned for them. You want to help them, and they don't want to be helped. I just don't want to hear it. And then somebody else comes along and says the exact same thing. And they're like, you should have heard what Coach Bill said. You're like, shut up. I want to kill Coach Bill. You don't even care that it was good for him. You're like, I've been telling you that for 10 years. Why suddenly so-and-so says in the exact same words that I used, and suddenly they hear you? Or talking to my wife, saying the same thing 15 times. And Jose says the same thing. She's reading his book. She's like, did you read this? It's like, oh, you did not. He probably stole it from me. What do you mean, did I read this? I had to learn this lesson the most painful way. My marriage was awful when I first got married because I was 100% IQ. I mean, I was, just listen to me and the world would be fixed, right? I'm the smartest guy in the world. But she was like, I don't get it. She's like, I just don't trust you. Your agenda. And she was right. I was all about, let's get this thing done in the shortest fashion possible and run over people. I thought I had good agenda, but it was pretty clear because I had an EQ wife. She made it pretty clear that I would listen to you, but I don't trust you. She said that to me one day, and it got through. I was like, it was my first EQ light bulb. If someone else would say the very same thing that you just said, I would probably listen to him. But because it's you and I don't trust you. It's like, what do you mean you don't trust me? I'm your husband. Exactly. And so I realized for the very first time with people, fast is slow and slow is fast, that I needed to change my role relationship. Instead of commander of the home, become a partner in her soul. Yes, and partner with her in life. And it was no time at all Actually, it wasn't no time at all. It took quite a while. Now that I think about it. That day I said something. It took 2 years. But I knew it was right. I didn't have the immediate effect. It took me 2 years. And what I said that day when she said that, I said, I am never going to correct her again. I'm not going to instruct her. I'm not going to become her boss. I'm not going to become her instructor. I'm not going to tell her what to do until or unless she asks me. If she asks me for help, then I will help her. And until that happens, I'm done being her boss. 2 years of being her friend, where I stopped caring whether she asked me or not. I'm just going to support her. I'm just going to be there for her. And she comes to me and she says, what do you think about this? I'm like, wow, this is amazing.